Donny Honey with PMHsports in Fayetteville, joins us. Lincoln County falls tonight in overtime on a controversial play in overtime. And Donny, are you with us still?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I appreciate you hanging on, my friend. It sounded, as I was listening to the broadcast, it sounded like there was that Lincoln County thought they had a touchdown in overtime, and it was waved off.
Well, I believe everyone in the stadium thought we had a touchdown, except for the guy that made the call. So, but that's all that matters. So, but hey, we should have never been in that position to begin with, Dennis. We didn't play well. We didn't play well last week either, and we thought, well, we couldn't play any worse than we did last week, but we did. We had 4 starters out, including August Hill, didn't play, and that hurt us. I mean, it really hurt us not having August in there, and some of the other guys, too. Shelton Smith didn't play at all. Ryan Hall played some, but he was kind of limited. He had a little injury, too, and I think Zay March, he played a little bit, but, you could tell they weren't 100%, and you got to hand it to Summit. I mean, they came down and they never quit. They scratched and clawed and everything that they could, and just knocked us down. I mean, we didn't get back up. It's just the way it goes.
What was the deal with August Hill? Is he injured or is it something else?
No, he's got injured.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. I was listening to, as I said, I was listening to the broadcast. Only one team has scored against Lincoln County in the first quarter, and that being Indy. Your defense played really well tonight, it sounded like.
We did, for the most part. I mean, you hold someone to 7 points in regulation, that's pretty good. These guys beat Laverne, I think, a couple of weeks ago, so we knew coming in, we were kind of leery of them because if they're good enough to beat Laverne, then they got a pretty good football team. They weren't very big. They weren't, really just to look at them that impressive. They're just a bunch of tough kids, and they just, like I said, they scrapped and fought and hung in there to the very end. And the old saying, you let somebody hang around, they beat you, and that's exactly what happened.
We're talking to Donny Honey on the Friday Night Thunder Scoreboard Show. Dennis Weaver, Josh Peterson.
Donny, talk a little bit about, you talked about August Hill not being out or not being in the game and being out tonight. Talk a little bit about that Lincoln County offense and the struggles that it had tonight because, Summit not being able to really hold teams down that much this year. So, and I think, Lincoln County being at home, people just kind of expected this to be a win. So, a little bit of a shocker. Talk about those offensive struggles and where it kind of went wrong outside of just having people that weren't playing.
You're right, and I think the players kind of expected it too, just the way. Not having August did hurt. I mean, he's more of a speed back. We did have Dylan Jean, which he's a power back, and he ran the ball, several times and got some pretty good yardage. But we get the ball to start the game, and we drive right down and score. And you think, okay, we're in good shape. But then after that, we just continually shot ourselves in the foot. We had the ball in the fourth quarter driving, and it was either 3 or 4 consecutive holding calls called against us. And every time we had gotten good yardage on every play, and we wound up with like 3rd down and 700 yards or something. I don't know what it was, but it was a long way to go. We wound up having to punt the ball back to them, but we were moving the ball, and like I said, the holding call just, I believe it was either 3 or 4 in a row in consecutive plays, and it just, we just couldn't overcome it.
You take on Laverne next week. Laverne got a big win tonight over Franklin County. And it looked like Lincoln County, who was positioning themselves after the Shelbyville game for a home playoff game, now is fighting for their playoff lives, right?
Oh, you're correct. We were in good shape. We can pretty much controlled our own destiny as far as finishing second and getting a first-round playoff game at home. But now tonight just totally blew that out of the water. So it's just going to be a big mess now because you're going to have a lot of teams with the same, probably a lot of tiebreakers involved.
All right, Donny, we appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you again real soon. Okay.
Okay, Dennis.
All righty.